Guys, my Stihl USG grinders that I use to sharpen chains here in the shop. I'll take you guys through the settings on the machine as well as how to sharpen a chain. I do understand with chain sharpening that everybody thinks they're an expert. Everybody's got their own way of doing things, and a lot of people are there to critique what you're doing. I just wanted to make a simple video to show people that might not be familiar with chain sharpening, how to set up their grinder and the proper angles for sharpening chains. So with that, I'm going to jump right into the video and show you guys how I do it. I do thousands of chains a year on these machines, so I'm pretty comfortable with them. Here's my Stihl USG grinder. I'm going to show you a few things on here that might help you guys with your sharpening. So if you notice right here, there's a bunch of numbers on this area. These are going to be the degrees that you're going to be sharpening the teeth on. So if you look right here, this is going to be your C. So if I look up here at my diagram, it's going to have different degrees for different chains, and it's going to have a different position for where everything needs to be set depending on which chain I'm cutting. So C is going to be the first one right there. So for your standard and super chains and micros, it's usually set on 30 degrees or negative 30 degrees for the cutting tooth there. And if you look at the side, this degree is going to be either 15 degrees to correspond with the positive 30, or it's going to be negative 15 degrees over here to correspond with the negative. And then if you look at this little number right here, this is going to be 40 degrees, and that's going to be your A measurement. So we got A right there, we got B right here, and we have C right here, and that's all going to correspond to the top right here, A, B, and C placement. Just go through this chart really slow with you, so if you guys need to look at it, it'll help you with some of the angles for different chains. Right here is going to be the chain that you're running. And then this is going to be the angles that it needs to be cut at, and that's your second angle, and this is your third for your degrees. And if you notice, like Duro chains, you're going to be switching from that 40 down to a 30. Your 15s are going to be the same, and your 30s are going to be the same depending on which Duro. Your Duro is your carbide tooth, so I got a couple different options right there. And then I've also got measurements here for doing hedge trimmer blades as well, and then some brush cutter attachments. So I'll scroll up again just so you guys can take a look at this, catch anything that you need off of there. Here are the 4 different sharpening wheels that I commonly use to sharpen chains. The first one here is going to be my diamond wheel. That's going to be for the Duro and the carbide stuff. Then you got your 1/4 inch Pico, 3/8 Pico, 325 3/8, and then I've also got the Hexa wheel for the new Hexa chains. So if you guys are wondering, here is the part number if you guys want to order this wheel. And I'll go back over to the other ones as well. The part number's on there. And part numbers on there. One other disc that I currently use is going to be for my Raker wheels. You can look right there and see the part numbers on it. This is standard against all the Rakers that I do. So it'll be your 1/4 inch Pico, 3/8 Pico, 325 3/8. So everything will be done with this for as far as Rakers go. A couple adjustments. If you notice that knob right here, turning that in is going to set this right here, which will be basically your stop right here. That'll keep you from going too deep into your cutting tooth. One other thing I use is going to be my dressing tool. You're going to use the end here to clean up your wheels when they're getting worn down, and you're also going to use it over here on your Rakers to realign them after you gouge them with the Rakers. To adjust the teeth, I can go in and out, which is going to move this so I get all my angles aligned and it fits right into that gullet. Just depending on how much meat is left on that tooth. This will also come out and go in depending on which tooth you're using. That way it stabilizes the back of the tooth while you're putting pressure on from the cutting wheel. So I'm going to load a chain on here, and I'm going to show you guys how the USG will actually sharpen your chain for you. Here I'm aligning the cutting tooth with the grinding wheel to make sure that it's a snug fit. I don't want to be taking too much off the end of the tooth, and I don't want to be taking too little off, otherwise it won't sharpen it. When I mount the chain into the bar, I get it nice and snug, but I don't clamp it all the way down. This allows me to push through. I end up holding the chain on the right-hand side. You can see my fingers holding it in place. So as I make the cut, that just allows me to speed this process along. Here's a look at the tooth after it's been sharpened. What we're trying to do here is clean this area out and then make this point again. So what we've done there, then if you look at it from this side, you can see that nice angle on there, nice clean point. And then if you look at the gullet right here, everything's nice and clean. And then on this side, we had everything set right, so that way we didn't go into our strap. Here I'm going to dress the raker wheel before I go ahead and clean up the rakers. So I'm going to check the raker depth here. You're basically going to set that on there and see if you're getting caught. Just gauging how much you need to take that raker tooth down. You don't want to take the rakers down too much because basically what you're doing is you're determining your chip depth between that cutting tooth and the raker. So if you take the rakers down, you're going to have really large chips. And what's going to happen is when you take the rakers down too far, you're going to be creating a bigger chip right here, and your chainsaw is going to pull right into the log that you're cutting. The goal is to maintain the factory distance when you're taking this tooth back. It's at an angle here. So when this is coming down, it's getting shorter, so that's why we take the raker down to make it shorter, so that way this gap matches between those 2 points. One of my favorite things is these chain lockers to put your chains in when you're done using them. Just keeps everything organized, keeps them out of the weather. These bigger cases have 2 rows, so you can accept larger chains. Otherwise, your 20-inch chains, you could do one side sharp and one side dull. However you wanted to do it. They are really nice. We sell a ton of them here at the shop. I have 2 units set up side by side. One is for the cutting tooth, and then the other one's going to be for the raker. The reason I do this is I do thousands of chains a year, and it just makes it a lot simpler, making the task streamlined, so that way I don't have to change my angles all the time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you guys do have any questions, make sure you guys leave them in the comments below, and I'll try my best to answer them for you. If you haven't already, like the video, and make sure you guys subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so. I do have lots of great content, show you guys how to repair Stihl and Husqvarna stuff that comes through our shop on a daily basis. So with that, guys, enjoy the rest of your day.